My experience was one that nobody would ever expect ever in their life.
When I first met my abuser, I was going through a divorce.
I came to USA in 1999. Back home, you're allowed to get married, like in a really young age. And so he lived here, and he asked me to come.
I was born and raised in Ethiopia. I graduated, the first female electrical engineer graduate, and then I was sent to Greece to study computer science, and we met there.
I was married at the time, 2 kids, and just in not the best space of my life.
I crossed the border from Mexico. It took me like 3 months to get here.
I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was really just trying to rebuild my life.
We got married and come back to the States. And then for the next 18 years, we traveled. We have, I can say, the best life. It's internationally set life.
So he portrayed this picture of what I wanted in my relationship and what I wanted from a man. It quickly turned to controlling behaviors where now he would have to drive me to work and pick me up from work.
I had a guy that I was dating and thought he was my world, my everything, until he did the ultimate of the worst and molested my children.
All of a sudden, he just said he feels something and he doesn't want to be married anymore.
That's what led me to being homeless.
It started off with just the narcissistic behavior from my ex-husband and the verbal abuse, the emotional abuse, and the physical abuse.
After a month that I lived with my husband, he started abusing me in every way, like emotional, verbally, and I had no place to go.
The very first physical assault was very violent. He had held me in the bedroom for about 14 hours. My kids were in their bedroom, and he beat me like the entire night.
I had a good life, and all of a sudden it's broken. And when it's broken also, it's broken so bad. No communication, he didn't give us anything. He just wanted us to leave.
I thought you call the police, they help you, and that's it. Everyone moves on with their life. It's not. No one told me anything about shelters or protective orders. There was no advocate there.
The abuse never stopped. I was with him for 7 years.
I allowed the emotional stress and the pain to take over to the point where I was just depleted. I was so depressed. I was 300 pounds.
Homelessness is a despair. I mean, it's a black hole. You can't see, you're blinded. You can't even think sometimes straight.
I ended up agreeing to talk to a domestic violence detective, and they had already started contacting shelters for me. That was the day where I knew I'm gonna get out.
Tried many shelters.
I was just in emergency living at that time.
You get frustrated and you say, okay, forget it. I'll stay in my car. And that's what I did for a little while until I contacted the case manager and spoke to her, and she set me up with the interview to Homestretch.
I had been in the shelter for 4 or 5 months, and they had told me about this transitional housing program.
They said, well, you're working a full-time job. You've enrolled your daughter in high school. This was her first year in high school, and your son is in kindergarten, and we think you'd be perfect for this program called Homestretch. I went through the interview process, and thankfully, I was accepted into the program, and life just started to change.
My experience with Homestretch, it was awesome. You go and give you ESL classes,
job skill training,
activities for the kids,
counseling,
check writing,
your credit score.
There was all these supports coming in for me that I wouldn't have known about if I hadn't been in Homestretch.
The best thing they gave me, the best gift is to be able to trust someone else.
When you're in those situations, it's not easy. I don't know how else to say it. It's when you're down, you're down. But when you have a group like Homestretch, and I would say that became my family, it gives you that push to say, okay, we can do this together.
I don't have words to thank everyone in here.
I can call Chris today and tell him something that happened, and it's he just makes my whole world feel yes.
This entire program and organization, they're like family to me. I always say that.
They treat you like you are a family.
Everybody that helped, every company that donated, every organization or past family members that came in and said, oh, here's toys for your kids, here's clothes for your kids, that made a whole difference.
Something that really impacted me with Homestretch, I think it was the first day when they give me the key of where I'm gonna live with my daughter.
I was supposed to move in the end of August, so in time for school to start. And so I told them, like, she's turning 5, she starts kindergarten, her birthday's August 5th, and they ended up getting the house together. So they actually gave me the keys on her birthday.
I saw the 2 rooms and I asked her, like, I'm sharing with someone? And she said, no, that's for you both. So it was that part I think like I never will forget.
To most people, like, having a house for your kids doesn't seem like a big deal. And like, that's the only birthday present she really cared about, or, you know, every year going forward, that was like always her favorite birthday present.
Homestretch taught me to build a relationship with my children.
My daughter, I feel like, was the true success story because she came here afraid. She was like, I'm going to a new high school. I don't know these people. I don't know this town. But she, oh God, she flourished. That's where my success lies, in my kids, that they can grow up to be kind and gentle people. And sorry, it just makes me really happy to know that my kids are so, they're just good kids.
I was able to complete LPN school while here. Became an LPN, and after that, currently now I'm a registered nurse.
Got my master's in social work from the University of Southern California.
I graduated as an accounting. I get my own place, and the loan officer that helped me at the time to do my loan offered me a job.
I finished culinary school back in 2011. I was like, I have to make this work.
I work at the University of Maryland Medical Center as a domestic violence specialist.
I'm running a branch with $80 million deposits and equally with $100 million loans. So it's an awesome job.
I worked as a loan officer for 7 years, and now I'm a realtor, and it's been a great experience.
Today I stand before you. I'm a certified yoga instructor. I lost 127 pounds naturally. I am a physical, active part of both of my children's lives.
In 2021, I was nominated in the Washingtonian as the top 50 nurses in Washington, D.C. It was just a shock to me to be nominated and to feel like I'm doing good and that somebody values me as a nurse.
This is my passion. Like, I love to work with people and help the community.
Every year at Christmas, I donate to a family because this is who helped me.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't get Homestretch.
In 2009, I became a victim of domestic violence, and in 2010, I became a survivor.
Look at how far I've come. Look at what I've accomplished today. Look at what I plan to accomplish tomorrow. So I won't be defeated. I don't want to be defeated, and I won't be.